Saturday morning, everybody. If you watched my video from last night on the references for the Black Mesa Blue Shift series, you'll note that I showed an image of a hallway, and I said that I think I'm going to start, working on this as the first sort of little mini scene from that series, and that's what I have decided to do. So I am going to do that hallway. It should be relatively straightforward to model, so I think it's a pretty good one for relative beginners, and that's kind of what I gear my channel towards, relative beginners, or maybe a little bit more. But if you are a beginner, feel free to follow along this. As a reference, I'm not going to upload a reference for you to download. I'm just going to use that screenshot. So, you could always take a screenshot of my screenshot if you wanted, if you needed it. But otherwise, we're just going to model it sort of looking down the hallway. We've got a door at the end. We've got a doorknob that you couldn't see too well in the image, but I think I know how I'm going to do that. We've got some hinges on the door. We got a door frame. We've got, in texture, we've got the hazard stripes on there. Over to the left, we've got two cylinders. They look to be the exact same, right? Just the cylinder, the base round circle with some either circular bolts or hexagonal bolts, and some little discs around them. So straightforward to do that. And then above the door, we've got sort of a rectangular, interestingly shaped light. So I'll do that as well. Then over on the right side, we've got some electrical panels. Pretty straightforward to model those as well. And with some pipes or wires or covered wires. And just above that, we've got that sort of old sort of beacon light sticking out with a bit of a cage around it. So I'll show you how I would approach that as well. All right, so we'll model that, we'll unwrap it, and then we'll texture it. I'm probably going to do it in Substance Painter, but you could get a nice result out of Blender, I'm sure. All right, so that's what's coming up. I'm going to call the references video that I showed you, that I posted last night, I'm going to call that part 1, and then part 2, we're going to get into modeling this thing. We'll do a number of parts. And down the road, I'm also going to do some textures that I said just separately as Substance Painter kind of things. So that'll mix into the series somewhere. And then I'll probably choose another room, maybe that shower area from the video from last night, because it had the orange sort of large tile floors and then the smaller tiles on the wall, and it had a vent down there. I had those cylinders, and it's got this sort of concrete pieces in there. So I had talked about that concrete, so that's a good reason to do that. And it's got those mats that we found in multiple places and some hardware for the water. So I like that little room too, but I'm not set on that. But I hope to start tonight on the hallway scene, so I hope you'll join me. Come on back and model along with me, or just watch for the fun of it, and we'll see how this thing turns out. All right, take care.